We've got a bit of breaking news coming in from the ICC headquarters in Dubai. The much awaited meeting of the ICC board members is finally over, and we don't have anything fresh to report because the stalemate continues. So no decision has been taken on Champions Trophy. Remember, you were going to have 16 people, 16 votes actually in all, come together and decide the fate of the Champions Trophy. What are those 16 members? Let me just quickly break it down for you. You of course have the 12 full members. Apart from that, 3 associate members that are part of this cycle, that is 15, and 1 is the ICC chair. So these 16 were to convene and discuss. Interestingly, the meeting did not take place in Dubai. The ICC headquarters are in Dubai. But the meeting was online. Of course, the center was the ICC headquarters in Dubai, and most of the representatives from each board joined on a video call or via Zoom, and the online meeting took place. But there has been no decision, and that is the big news. No decision yet. And we can also tell you the next meeting is, the date for the next meeting has also not been decided as yet. It's going to be coming up in the next few days. We do not know the exact certain date. As soon as that date is decided amongst the members, then we will let you know. But right now, even the members haven't frozen in on a date. But what they've agreed at the end of this meeting, that they will have to meet again because no decision has been possible. So that's the latest that we're getting.
How long was the meeting actually did last? Because the meeting was supposed to start at 3:30 Indian time. Even if after a few delays, it doesn't seem like the meeting was too long. So does that really mean that Pakistan are not ready to move at all with what they actually decided?
Good point, Shashwat. For one, thing is right that it was a short meeting, not more than an hour. So very tight, crisp meeting. And you could deduct from what we are hearing at the moment is that neither side was budging. India firm on their stance that no, they cannot go to Pakistan. It has to be a hybrid model. And Pakistan saying no, we're not going to have any hybrid model. Not a single match of India will be played outside as they did at the Asia Cup. And that's not surprising, because if you listen to Mohsin Naqvi, the PCB head, just last night, he did a press conference ahead of this meeting. And that's very interesting because, before the meeting, when you have these official statements, why are those statements made? They are made to let everyone know that when you come to the meeting, this is going to be my stance. Don't expect anything else. So you let the party know that this is what I'm coming with. And it was interesting what Mohsin Naqvi said. He said that we will take hurt, but we will not take a step back. So he made it certain in exact words that no compromise at all. So Pakistan's not budging, that's for sure, which is why no decision could be taken. And just like in a game of chess, when it's a stalemate, you shake hands and you get up and then you reconvene. That meeting is going to happen again. So some decision will have to be taken, and one of the parties is going to be unhappy at the end of it.
So by taking hurt, does it mean that will Pakistan be okay if the tournament goes away from Pakistan, and not just goes away from Pakistan, but also the hosting rights are taken away from
That is very interesting. I think that's what they meant. I think what he's trying to say is that they are ready for the worst case scenario. I think the messaging from PCB is very clear that we are ready for the worst case scenario. And what is the worst case scenario? That you have a Champions Trophy outside of Pakistan, without Pakistan. I think that is the worst case scenario. And so he said, not that they want that worst case scenario. I'm sure they're going to negotiate. Let's say if both teams are, or both parties are stuck that they're not moving, of course Pakistan is going to ask for something else. They'll say no hybrid model, or they may, the other bigger demand will be, okay, we'll host it, we'll do it without India, and so on and so forth. Those are going to be their, ideal demands or ideal scenario for them. But I'm saying that they also know when you are ready to go head to head with an opposition that's much stronger than you, then you have to prepare yourself for the worst case scenario. So I think you're right when they say that we will take the hurt. That means worst case scenario will be that you eliminate us from Champions Trophy, you take the Champions Trophy away from us, yet that is not going to deter us, and we're not going to take a step back.
This is still, I think, the worst case scenario for Pakistan, but the best case scenario being for them, maybe they agree on doing the tournament hybrid with maybe having the final in Pakistan and then say that we will not come to India for the World Cup and then also we'll have a hybrid model. But you know that that's not going to happen because during the Asia Cup, they said the same thing, will not come for the World Cup. We'll have the Asia Cup hybrid but not come for the World Cup in India. But they did end up coming and the tournament also ended up happening hybrid Asia Cup.
See, two things. One thing that they're making very clear that, one thing that they've said that we are hurt and we are ready to take the worst case scenario. That means you take the tournament. I think they're also ready for future repercussions. And why do you think the board is right now, deliberating? Because I know this for a fact that what Pakistan is actually telling the ICC, that if this is going to be a case that you do a tournament without us or you force us to do a hybrid or you do whatever, then from here on, every tournament that's given to India, we are going to put spanner in the work. We are going to say we are not going to come to India. So our matches are to be done in Pakistan or some other venue. So that, see, this is a long-term thing for ICC to think. And ICC on its part, even though India dominates the ICC, they are the all-powerful board. Eventually, if it does come down to voting, you can bet your bottom dollar that a majority of the countries will go India's way. But I think the ICC cannot be seen as an international body taking a harsh step. That's not to say they will not. I think if you really push them against the wall, some decision has to be taken. There could be multiple options. Let me give an option. Like if you are in a scenario where both countries are not budging, ICC has an option of doing a tournament without India, continuing it in Pakistan without India. Is that going to happen? I think there's 0% chance of that happening. The other option is do the tournament without Pakistan, not in Pakistan, outside of Pakistan. This I'm saying if hybrid is not accepted, whether it's fully hybrid, part of it is hybrid. The other option is do it without Pakistan. The possibility of that is high, but is that an ideal scenario for ICC? No, it is not, because then they'll have problems going forward as well. So they'll also have to be seeing that. And now there's another twist, and very interesting twist to this matter. Because we do not know the next date of this meeting, and we know it's not tomorrow, we are ending this month, 1st of December, who takes over as ICC chairman? Jai Shah. And now the thing is, when Jai Shah represents India, then he of course sees India's interest. That is his role, and he has to take India's side because he's representing India. When you are made to sit in that position of an ICC chairman, then it becomes a very tough position to be in, because then you have to think of course, I'm not to say that even there he cannot rule in favor of India. He can, because at the end of the day, if he has to see what benefits the ICC, then obviously a tournament with India benefits the ICC. See, he isn't going to be in that position to ensure that ICC continues to churn out profit. How is ICC going to churn out profit? By including India, by having India, by having a happy BCCI. So even if Jai Shah has to put on his ICC hat and think neutrally, even then for him to have a happy BCCI is the ideal scenario for ICC. If you ask an ICC to choose at the moment between an unhappy PCB and an unhappy BCCI, it's a very easy choice to make. They are going to be. It's not ideal. They wouldn't want to do that, but push comes to shove, they may do that. Or there is another third option which the ICC could go with, which is to postpone the Champions Trophy at a later date. Maybe not even announce the date right now, but at least you will find some sort of a solution to this stalemate that you have. So the ICC can say that, listen, we're not getting all parties on the same group. See, 2008 Champions Trophy was to happen in Pakistan. It got cancelled. That was entirely for different reasons. These are different reasons. But if it reaches a scenario where the ICC is finding it tough to organize the tournament, then they may say, okay, we're postponing the tournament indefinitely. We don't know when. We'll announce it at a later date. That could be the other thing. And who loses then? The PCB.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A couple of more questions. See, if the way Pakistan is behaving right now, it's really, really rigid from their end. But do you think that they will be ready to take the risk of not having the tournament altogether, not being part of the tournament altogether? Because if the tournament happens without Pakistan once, and it's a success, because it's just that one game that Pakistan is looked forward to, that is India-Pakistan.
Yeah.
And if the tournament is a success, don't you think that it's Pakistan who needs ICC more than anyone else at this point? Because India still has many other ways to get revenue. You have the IPL, Indian cricket is really strong in general, but that's not the case place with Pakistan.
No, see, I agree, which is why I think it is going to be very prudent for Pakistan to make a sensible decision. See, I know that right now they must be hurting because they came to India and then they had this in their mind. And I'm sure, just as everyone is proud of their country, I'm sure, people in Pakistan are proud of their country, and they were also looking forward to hosting the tournament. But you got to be realistic as well. If you have reached a scenario where it's not happening, what choice do you have? Either you allow your ego to play in, where you say, I'm not budging, this is an ego tussle, then yes, then the country that stands to lose the most is Pakistan, because not only they get $70 million, and Pakistan cricket per se is struggling compared to all other countries. They're going to lose that 70 million, which is hosting, right? If you do a hybrid, you're going to get paid even more, ICC has said. Secondly, every year you get about $30-35 million from the ICC kitty, which actually is India's. And you get a major share. So now for the next 3-4 years, if there are sanctions, you don't get that. So that is going to take Pakistan cricket, further back. They're already struggling. The economy is not in a great position. For Pakistan cricket to sustain, to run their cricket domestically, they would need that kind of money. If they are ready to sacrifice that, then they are the ones. I don't think, as you mentioned, I don't think BCCI is going to lose much. I mean, I'll go so far as to say it's a far-fetched idea. And I know that will never happen. If you were to have Champions Trophy without India, I'm just saying hypothetically, it will never happen. I mean, India could just have another bilateral or something and make more money. Yeah. They could have their IPL, instead of starting in March, they'll start in Feb. A majority of the players will land up there. So, and they have an agreement with a lot of boards to do that. So, I mean, it is going to be a problem for Pakistan and the rest of the cricket world to not accommodate India at the moment. And that will, see, I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, that Pakistan is playing hardball because they also have to, show their public that they cannot take a step back, they cannot compromise on every occasion. It's a possibility the next time the meeting happens, they may take a step back. That's what we reported, that maybe they might say, okay, fine, play the final here, the rest of it can be hybrid, so on and so forth. Maybe they might even say that we're not going to be coming to India going forward. Maybe that also might be acceptable. So those are the bargaining chips that they will use, because they can't be seen as agreeing to hybrid in the form that India wants. So they will ask for some sort of bargaining chip and then take they may take 3 steps back and then expect little one step from the other side. That is something that could be worked on.
Do you think that we have to remember that the World Cup is in India in 2026? Do you think if Pakistan agrees to have a hybrid model this time, can this be said with certainty that Pakistan says that they are not going to come to India? Do you think this decision can be made so much in advance, a year and a half before the World Cup actually takes place, that the World Cup in India will also be hybrid in favor of Pakistan? Because they are going to agree to that only.
It's tough to say. See, the other thing I will mention is that Pakistan themselves will keep changing stance. So if they were to say now that we won't come to India, doesn't necessarily mean that they may not come to India when the tournament happens. So, the regime changes very often. The government changes, the whole PCB changes. Who knows the next person, what stance they are going to be. But I think that will also be a win-win scenario for India. If Pakistan is going to use this, or okay, we'll do the hybrid here, but next time we also won't travel, I think that will be a win-win for India. You can tackle. And then once the tournament happens, maybe BCCI may take a couple of steps. ICC may take a couple of steps back to accommodate BCCI, because that's the power they wield. They may not be okay to take those few steps back if Pakistan decide not to come if the tournament is in India. They could then take a much harsher stance by saying, okay, we'll have the tournament without you. So certain leeways can be made for India. And I know if you're a neutral who are looking at this scenario, you're going to be like, why is it that these luxuries can be afforded to the BCCI, not to the PCCI? But fortunately, unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. And it's not just the ICC. In fact, even if you look at the ICC, over the years you've had different power centers, and those power centers have enjoyed, some sort of elbow room in getting what they wanted over the years. And it just so happens at this moment that PCCI enjoys that.
Just two more questions. First being, where will the final take place if it's hybrid? It's going to be very interesting, because are there going to be 2 venue options like we saw it in the Asia Cup also? If India qualifies, it's going to be outside Pakistan, or is it still going to be in Pakistan, asking India to come to play the final in Pakistan if they end up qualifying?
See, that depends on the BCCI. If the BCCI is okay if they get majority of their demand, that is all India matches outside, but in case they make the final, that one final to be played there where they can just fly in for a few hours, play and then go back. If the BCCI is ready, and more importantly, more than the BCCI, if the Indian government gives them permission, if they're okay, then that is the option. But if you ask me, I doubt even that is going to happen. I think the only feasible option, and looking at just as PCB is digging their heels in, BCCI is backed by the government. I think from both sides, if I was to look at it, I think the most probable scenario is a hybrid model where even the final is hybrid. Where if India play, then some other place, you have two venues ready. If there is no India, then it happens in Pakistan.
Last question, if nobody is coming on a middle ground and it goes down to the voting, which now we have heard a lot that voting will be the last resort as far as the ICC would want it to be, what would be the voting be for? There are many options, because either it could be for hybrid, either it could be for moving the tournament altogether somewhere else and giving the hosting rights to Pakistan, or to have the tournament altogether without Pakistan.
No, so at the moment, I think, see, the voting is not going to be for hybrid. So hybrid is already on the table, but that is something Pakistan is not accepting. If it does go down to voting, that would mean that Pakistan is not accepted hybrid. So then there are only two scenarios, and I think that scenario is that the tournament will be moved completely out of Pakistan. I think Pakistan will be given that chance to continue to remain host then, saying that okay, and I know that Sri Lanka is going to be that venue. So let's say the tournament moves to Sri Lanka. ICC, see, listen, it's an ICC board. They are the ones who gave that hosting right. They are entitled to take that hosting right away. So ICC can say that, listen, now we've decided that no, because of security reasons, we are having the tournament in Sri Lanka. PCB, here's our offer. You can continue to be host. That means take all the money that is made out of this from television as well as ticketing, all of those things, 70 million that you get, probably even more. We'll give it to you. You remain the host. The tournament happens in Sri Lanka. Nothing doing. The other option is then the ball is in PCB's court. They can say, no, we don't want to take this offer. In which case ICC then can have the tournament without them or cancel the tournament altogether. So I think those are just the options that are left. Yeah. You let us know what you think would be the best option. Can you find interesting common ground, or you're happy with whatever position your respective boards are taking? Do let us know in the comment section. Give us a like if you're enjoying our content, and yes, as always, do not forget to subscribe to
Sports Today.
From Shashwat and I, bye bye.